Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Everybody have a good evening?
Yes.
You had some good food? Everybody get some rest?
Yes.
Yay. That's cool. So what I'd like to do this morning is have everybody stand up and pair up. It's not going to be weird. Maybe a little. Maybe a little weird. And what I'd like to do is share something with you all that you can use every day, several times a day if you need to center and to open your brain. This is called Brain Gym work. It's just a little bit of it, but Brain Gym, you're familiar with Brain Gym. And I love this stuff because most of my life, up until about 6 years ago, I would wake up with what they call the ass-kicking machine happening. And Darren was just talking about it. It's that sense of unworthiness that somewhere along the way I told myself I'm not worthy, which is ridiculous. We're all born, what? Worthy, 100%. That's all there is. But we put these labels on ourselves. We say, this experience, that must mean I'm not smart. This must mean I'm not enough. And that's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. We're all worthy. And the thing that I noticed about my life feeling not enough was that I was either concerned about the shameful things I felt I had done in the past, or I was scared shitless about the future because I wasn't enough. It was so hard back here. This is going to be even harder because now I've got kids and a wife, right? And so even to this day, I look at images of my children and my family, and I'm in there. I have no recollection of it at all. Like it didn't even happen because I wasn't there. I was there physically, but I was not present at all. And I used to feel bad about that. And I feel it, but I also have forgiven myself. I've gone back and I've forgiven that guy. I've held that guy in that photo in my arms, and I've just told myself, I love you, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I've moved through those experiences one at a time to the best of my ability that I'm aware of today. And what I'm clear about is it's kind of like drilling into an onion. You know, there's more. But I love what Darren's done with NLP and hypnosis is you can go to those places, and when you get good at it, you can hit a spot and it will, like dominoes, just take care of so much after that. So you don't have to one at a time. If you find that core spot and you heal that, everything after that is healed as well, right? Sure. Isn't it so cool? So I started learning, and a very novice with NLP, but I've been working with clients through some hypnosis, some guided meditations. And it's so remarkable to see surgeons who are they're knocking it out of the park financially, but their soul is dying. And now they're thinking, my God, I think I want to write a book. I think I want to put together a coaching course. I want to put together a coaching course and teach other doctors to do what I do. And they're alive again. And it's super cool. So that's what brings me truly the most joy, is to see those lights turn on, because I know the suffering that people go through when they're not clear about who they are. And I also believe that suffering and pain is an obsession with self. And when I look out and to serve somebody, I instantly feel better. You know, even walking in here, I walk in, it's like, who can I help? Because by design, I kind of walk in thinking it's all about me, right? And so what I want to do is I want to show you this Brain Gym exercise really quick. And I want to have, what you're going to do is like with Darren, I'm going to have Darren take his left hand on his belly button and then fingers like this on those two bones of your collarbone. I just want you to move, just massage those bones. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you follow my finger and just breathe. Nice breathing rhythm. And so we're demonstrating, and then you will do this with one another. What this is doing is it's opening up both the left and the right hemispheres. So you can think whole-brained without critically thinking. You can just receive information. Okay, now switch. Now, switch it out. And then we go back. Keep your head still and just follow with your eyes. Because what happens is we typically become left-brained or right-brained. That's not the way we started out. Okay, good. Good? Cool. Yeah. Can everybody do that? So we're going to do left and right. I'm going to play a little bit of music. We're going to make this relatively quick. And then I just want to prepare you to receive this information from Darren. Okay, go. Anybody unclear?
Okay, you want me to do this first?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Or do I just do this part?
You want to do that for one another. So the eyes glide is what we're looking for. So the eyes will glide. Keep going. You can go about 5 back and forth. 5 back and forth either side. So go ahead and go 5 back and forth either side.
Then switch, right?
Yes, sir. Switch the other side.
How long do we do this?
5 each side.
Before we switch?
5 each side. Yes.
Okay.
So 5 each side. Good. That's right. Right in the center. Yeah, right in the center. Down a little bit. There you go. And when both of you have had 5 either side, go ahead and just continue facing one another. And just put your hands to your sides. Okay, good. Good? Okay. Is everybody ready? Got just a couple more. And if you're finished with that exercise, when you look at the other person, I want you to look into their left eye. Into their left eye. And I want you to begin moving forward as you're having conversations with anybody. I want you to begin looking into their left eye. Okay? Unless you want them to leave, you look into their right eye. Okay?
Yeah.
And just breathe. Big diaphragmatic breaths, big baby belly breaths.
If it's uncomfortable to stare at their eye, then stare at their eye.
Yeah, yeah.
Away right now,
absolutely.
Stare at their eye. That means you need this.
Absolutely. Good? Okay, everybody's good. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, as your hands, I want you to, and remember, we get sided, left side, right side, and it goes back and forth sometimes. We're whole brained now, right? So what we want to do is we want to show our body that we can go right over left. We do have a center line that a lot of creatures cannot cross over, but we can. So I want you to take your right foot over your left foot, your right hand over your left hand, like this. Bring it up and under. Chin down on your hands and just relax. And then take your tongue and rub it slowly on the roof of your mouth, back and forth, forward and back, forward and back. What that's doing is that is releasing oxytocin, that connection feeling, that connection that babies and mothers have. And I want you to feel like it's like a nice little hug. And every exhale, just say, I love you. We can switch. Now we'll take our left foot over our right foot, our left hand over our right hand, up and under. Nice little hug, relax, rub your tongue forward and back on the roof of your mouth. I love you. You can say that in your head. I'm doing it for example. Okay. Now this is called a cross crawl. And this is the last of the series. There's 5 parts of this that you can now do on your own anytime, and you can go whole brain, you can reduce stress, increase clarity, and be receptive. And this is a cross crawl. Knees below the waist, and just crossing over that center line. And breathing. How's that feel? Okay, big deep breath. Last thing. Okay, you good? Okay. I want you to put your hands out like this. And you can face forward, you can face wherever you're comfortable. But this is what this looks like. Now this can take as long or as little time as necessary. I do this, if you see me go away, like go take some time for myself, sometimes what I'll do is that exercise, and then I'll do this exercise. What this is everybody, and myself included, have some things that maybe are concerning. A little while ago is, where the heck is my son? He ran away. He ran away from a recovery center, a treatment center. Bless his heart. The kid just did not deal well with our divorce, the death of an aunt, the death of his grandfather, bam, bam, bam. And he just could not express his grief. He couldn't feel his grief. He couldn't express his grief. And so he ran away. First day, I'm like, oh, he's a strong kid. This is up in Montana. And he ran away with a kid that we heard was kind of a hoodlum that we didn't really know, and that he had gotten in a fight with a couple days before. Second day, no, he's good. He's Carson. He's good. Third day, he's good. It's Carson. Fourth day, I'm in my bed and I'm bawling my eyes out because I'm afraid this person has killed my son. And it was devastating. And the second day, we got a phone call because he got picked up. So put your arms down. And so that was one of those scenarios where I have a life to live. I have other obligations, other choices, choosings that I'm doing and who I'm being. So I need to clear that up so that I can move forward, right? I'm really grateful to say that my son lives with me now. You know, he lives with me, we're buddies. We're kind of cut from the same cloth, but he's the new and improved version. We're all worthy, but he's remarkable. And so I'm blessed. But I had to move through that so that I can be present for my life, right? So whichever hand you feel like there's some density, relational, physical, emotional, some things that, God, am I going to be able to fill in the blank? I want you to decide which hand that's going to go in. And just feel it. It's going to be like a heavy gray mist, right? And when you've decided which hand that is, you can feel the weight of it. On the other hand, I want you to conjure. I want you to create, remember, joy. That, like, all I have to do is look at my children, like when they're just in their face, and I just feel amazing. I can hear a voicemail my daughter sent me 12 years ago, and I wish I still had the voicemail. Hi, Dad. That sweet little voice. She's now in college. Hi, Dad. And I bring that up, and it tears of joy. So I want you to put that in the other hand, in a light, beautiful mist, this light. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and look down. Well, excuse me, hold on. I'm sorry. At the end of this, what we're going to do is your hands are going to come together on their pace. And as they come together, what's going to happen is that negative or this dense energy is going to succumb to the light energy, the high frequency energy. So as your hands come closer, not only is the dense energy being overtaken by and transformed by the light, it's also like a beach ball that goes into a volleyball. And each time that energy is compressing and it's vibrating. And when I do this alone, typically, because other people would freak out, they try to give me CPR or something, I'm vibrating, I'm just pushing, and I'm pushing that light down to a golf ball, down to the size of the head of a needle. And I press that, and when I'm ready, I find the place in my body that needs to be healed the most now. And I bring it in, and I hold my hands against my chest, and I just... And during that time, I visualize that light coming in and just permeating every cell, surging through every vein, and healing everything within me. And I relax. So that's how that's going to end as your eyes are closed. Okay, so now you know, right? Okay, so now when you close your eyes, I want you to close your eyes, tilt your head slightly down, and then look down into your emotions. And I want you to begin to go back and forth from the density, and I want you to feel it. I want you to feel whatever it is you need to feel, the pain, the fear, the uncertainty. And then I want you to switch and just go over to the joy, the love, the light hand, and bathe in it, swim in it. Go ahead and close your eyes, if you can. And then I want you to switch. And I want you now to conjure and sit in that feeling, whatever that feeling is, that fear, that concern. And now switch. And go live in that light. Go live in the truth. And just enjoy. And switch. And this will be the last time, so I want you to, with all that you are, experience that emotion. I'm noticing that some of your hands are lower than the others. I'm pretty clear that that's where the density is. And switch. Now bathe in this. This is the truth about you. Dark goes away as soon as you turn on the light. Enjoy that. Some of you are smiling. It's the truth. It feels good. And that's right. And now your body knows, you know, your unconscious knows at a very slow but obvious pace, your hands are going to begin to come together. And I want your palms to face one another. And I want you, as your unconscious brings you to this place and shows you the pace at which your hands will come together, and I want you to visualize the white, love, light, truth, transforming the negative. And as your hands come closer together, there will be a point where there is no more dense energy. It's just light. And it's between your hands. And it's because you're a conduit for something greater. Not the source, thank God. We're the conduit. And as you bring your hands together, increase intensity and allow yourself to, you are powerful. Beyond measure. And you press that. Compress that light. Magnify the vision and the emotion of it. You may see rays of light bursting through your fingers. You may feel light permeating your hands and traveling up your arms. I want you to compress it between your hands. And now I want you to identify some place in your body. It could be your forehead. Careful with that one, because I want you to bring it in with force. Maybe your heart. It may be your tummy. But identify that place now. And I'll remind you what this sounds like when you're ready. And I hold my hands to my body. And I breathe, holding my hands to my body. And now I visualize that light traveling throughout every cell, healing every cell, flowing through my veins. And then I like the idea of it bursting, the light bursting through every pore of my body. Just be with yourself. Keep your hands on you. Healing hands. Imagine you're holding your own child. This is you. When we come into this place, we take our first breath. And as we transition out of this place, we take our last. All the breaths in between are to ground you and help you, remind you to be present and that you are powerful beyond measure. Okay, now with your eyes closed, I would like you to wrap your arms around yourself. And I want you to give yourself a big hug. That hug that you may have needed, that hug that you know is in your future, is right now. And I want you just to hold yourself. Say, I love you. I love you. So grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you for carrying me this far. Thank you for who you are. I love you. And when you're ready, you can let your arms fall to your sides. You might shake your arms a little bit. Shake your legs a little bit. How do you feel? Awesome. You feel good? Fabulous. Well, without further ado, what I'd like to do now with this centered place is, most importantly, for me, if you got nothing, I want you to get everything from everyone. But I hope you receive this, that this is a tool for you. We've been propagandized that it's another latte. It's an energy drink. You know, it's a work, it's a grind, it's a hustle. All those things, whatever those contexts mean to you, fabulous, so long as it honors your spirit and it honors who you are. Because grind doesn't mean to me what it means to what I hear people say on the internet. Grind, grind. I know what they say, what they're doing. They're not sleeping much. They're not investing time with the people that matter to grind, grind, grind. So I do not use grind. I think of gears. I like flow. And I have this visualization of, sometimes I'll turn around in the river and I'll go like this. And can you imagine what that feels like? Water, loud, and sticks, pap, pap, pap. To me, that's grind. I like to lay back and flow because it knows where to take you. Let it. Let it. And be courageous enough to let the shiny things go by, to stay on your path. Deal? Deal. All right, cool. So this, I'm so excited for me, you can imagine what a blessing it is and how excited I am to get to hang out with Darren, NLP master, hypnosis master, help others master. That's just a great thing, man, because I am also very aware of that little tyrant in me who just wants it my way. And if I wasn't aware of that guy, I couldn't be aware of the opposites. Okay. This is so good. Randall and I talk a lot about gratitude. He is the grateful closer. And quickly, I'd like to go around quickly one thing, and I want you to allow yourself for that moment to feel that energy of gratitude. Go. What are you grateful for, Darren? One thing.
I'm grateful to be invited to be here, to meet such an awesome group of people and to connect with you and Randy and so many people that actually love making a difference in the world. So I'm grateful.
Thank you. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for opportunity.
Opportunity. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Grateful for?
Grateful for the friendships I've made.
Likewise. Grateful for you. What are you grateful for?
The ability to learn.
Say, I am.
I'm grateful for the ability to learn.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful for the future.
Beautiful.
Grateful for knowledge.
Grateful.
Grateful for the path I'm on.
Beautiful.
Grateful for this experience.
Awesome.
Grateful for reaffirmation, familiar faces, new faces, and a new path.
And everything was not wasted. It was all for you.
I am grateful to be here right now in the present with some great people.
Just likewise.
I'm grateful for leaving my comfort zone.
Beautiful.
I'm grateful for everybody here and for me the opportunity to get to know them.
Likewise, Rome.
I'm grateful for family.
Oh, I love it. Like,
I'm grateful for this morning and that I had a choice.
beautiful. I'm grateful you wore that beautiful necklace.
Oh, thank you.
I'm grateful for the love of Christ.
Beautiful.
I'm grateful for the lifelong relationships I'm building here, and I'm grateful for positive change.
Beautiful. What are you grateful for,
I'm grateful
Michael?
for the love of the moment.
Oh, love it.
First and foremost, family. Grateful for my family, and secondly, just the fact that we're alive, man.
Right?
Grateful to be
We're drawing air. We're still drawing air. Rome.
Very grateful I have two very confident, very healthy children.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I'm grateful also for my family. I'm grateful for I was just thinking about, Troy, when you were talking there, how important it is for all of us to consciously be aware of staying in that grateful state.
Yes.
Because when I met Troy, he was going through some rough times, and he'd be on the phone dealing with this problem, that problem, different things in life, and then he'd hop off the phone, and then he'd go in the other room, and he'd come back, and he'd be like, let's go. He would totally, I was always admirable of how he was able to control his state. And I think a lot of times when we wake up in the morning, we go, oh man, I got to do this. Oh man, I got to do this. And I've learned from him and some other folks the power of the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning, as I go, before I open my eyes, this is like at the biohacking thing. How do you take it to another level? When you wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm about to wake up right now, right? You go, I'm so grateful for my family. I'm grateful that I get to wake up, make coffee. My wife's making breakfast. And you just write all these things, right? Huh?
Your wife made coffee.
Or make
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the knowledge of how important it is to stay in that grateful state.
I love it.
Yeah.
Grateful for you.
I am grateful for my family, my two amazing kids. Which I'm surprised you guys haven't seen pictures yet. But, and all the energy in this room.
Likewise, grateful for you. Awesome. All right, I would like to do a brief intro. It's going to be very brief. This is a man, I summed it up. I was like, how do I introduce Darren? And it is, it's easy. He's a man who has mastered mind, body, spirit, money, and relationships, and brings all that technology to you. So without further ado, will you please, give me 1 second. Introduce Darren!
Yeah!
How's it been so far? Good. Isn't Darren amazing? Isn't that good stuff? Doesn't everyone want to go right? Right? Right now. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for this part of the program, of this schedule, because I get to see my friend. I get to see my friend stand up and live fully into his power. And I know him as my friend, that there's been some scary moments, like we all feel. But I also get to witness his courage and be a part of that courage, which gives, he ups the bar for me. And it's like, oh, man, I'm going to step up. I can be that. So I'm done being a do that. I want to be that, right? I love being around people that I want to be like, as Nako says, in a completely different way. I want to associate with those folks who are pushing the envelope. The people who realize that between that first breath and that last breath, they realize, and they take the time to realize where they're at on that timeline. And they say, my God, what am I going to do now? And that's the thing that happened for me, is I came to a place in my life where it's like, what they said hadn't worked well for me. Yeah. I missed too much, right? Mm-hmm. And if I came to this place in my 40s of like Jack Nicholson, is this all there is? Is this it? You know what? I was going to go out on my own and follow that still small voice inside me that has been there. The first time I really heard it, I was 3. was like, man, I want to be an archaeologist. I want to go find out what this planet's made of. You know, curious, and like Indiana Jones meets Goonies meets Stand By Me. You know, like that's the stuff that I was, or the Da Vinci Code. That's the way I love to live my life, which is there's so much mystery beyond this crap of numbers and grinding. And the thing is we think, oh, I just want to know what it's going to turn out. No, you don't. How boring it would be. We get lost in the mystery. I love what my mentor, Ross Cook, shared. He says, Troy, the magic is beyond the handrails. It's beyond the familiar. The familiar is the enemy of your authentic. Do something different. Do something new. If this scares the shit out of you, good. You're in the right place. Go like this. And just as Les Brown says, leap, and the net will appear. And it always has. Imagine that chasm out in front of you, a big, deep chasm. There's no bridge, right? But as you go, there's footing. It just seems to show up, right? Oh, it wasn't what I thought. And you take another step, and there's no other footing. And you can go all the way across. And here's what I just read this recently, that there was a man in his wisdom, which means he's had a lot of experience, a long journey, and he comes to a chasm. It's like, oh, he takes the time and he builds himself a bridge across. And he goes across, oh, excuse me. He travels the chasm, gets to the other side, because it was very challenging. But he has wisdom and experience. So he scales down, he gets across, he climbs up, he gets to the other side, and then he starts to build a bridge back to where he came from. And another person on the journey and on the trail says, why are you doing that? You got across. He says, yes. He says, but a ways back on the trail, there was a young man without the experience I have and without the wisdom I have, and he might not make it across, so I wanted to build a bridge. Right? Let that sink in. This is not for going anywhere. We're already there. This is for waking up. All of it. Everything that's happened to you, no, let's re-script that. It's happened for you. And imagine the possibility that in the ether, before you were born, the ether, we're all hanging out. We're like, I got to grow my soul. What does it look like this time? Or whatever you believe. I got to grow my soul, and I have to have these experiences. Oh my God, I got to be a drug addict. Damn. Oh man, I got to have this mom and that mom. Hey, would you be my mom? Hey, would you be my dad? Would you help with this experience? And then we're born, and we forget. We start going through it, and we're gripping and scratching like me. If you look behind me, it's claw marks, you know. But, you know, I've learned to pull them out and just allow myself to fall forward. And then what happens is through these experiences, we either fall deeply into victimhood and dense and tight, and we talk about the same thing over and over, no matter what. No matter what anybody's talking about, we bring it back to, you know, so-and-so, this is, you know, we all know those people. They have their story, and they live there forever. There's people who died a long time ago. They're just still drawing air, right? And then you also have those people who just see it unfolding before them. And that's the magic. That's where we choose or need to be always. We need to be pushing the envelope, right? And then what happens is we live presently, and we're prayerful, we're meditative, we're silent, because it is in the silence where it's always been. It's in the light where it's always been, and you always have it. We've just been propagandized to be out here, get. And everybody's breathing like they're fucking like in a fight or flight running from a bear nonstop, and they wonder why they're tired, right? So what I've found for myself is that as I go forward, it's like, I remember this. And you may have felt these things too. Oh, this is familiar. I choose to believe that's a possibility that I'm remembering what we all talked about before we got here, right? My mom is my mom, but she was a co-creator. She was a partner. You know, she took on that role for me to be here. I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying consider. You came here with no belief systems, not one. You were trained to hate. You were trained to compete. You were trained my team, not your team, left versus right, CNN versus Fox. And then we go kill because of the shit that was made up. So when I get to be in front of you all, yeah, we get to have business. Yeah, we get to do published books. Yeah, we get to have funnels. When it comes down to it, those are all conversations to be had for you to go home and sit with yourself and say, what am I doing? Who am I? And where are you spending your time? Where are you spending all the breaths in between? Right? And sometimes you have to let it all go. In my case, I had to let it all go because my ego loves the status and the stuff. And I told a story about the dot-com boom that I'm not even going to tell you. But I held on to that story because that made me somebody. It made me somebody. You know, look at my car, look at my house, look at my stack of money. And then I got the opportunity for all that to go away and tons of debt. Perfect. And it's a regrind sometimes. Hey, I need to remind you, it's not about that. It's about you. And you hearing that still small voice inside of you and heeding that call, no matter what, because that is the journey you came here for. So I'm excited to get to introduce, once again, a gentleman that I'm watching walk through this stuff. A man who's not been on thousands of stages in front of thousands of people. A man from Riggins, Idaho, who hung out in the meadows and hunting and watching sunrises and sunsets around campfires, who has it figured out, man. It's us. We're the magic. We're the juice. And I'm so grateful that he reminds me on a daily basis, I'm going to do something new. I got this gift. I've got a gift. I'm going to share people. I'm going to share this with people. Show them that they're selling their children, their wife, themselves, the cop that pulls them over, the real estate project, right? We're selling. We're selling. And he's mastered that psychology, which is a huge thing. If you can sell real estate, you can sell yourself on something greater. You. That's what's greater. That's all there is. Your experience here. So thank you for being courageous, Randall. Thank you for being courageous and coming down off the mountain, literally and figuratively, from Riggins to show up here and begin walking courageously into your new life and your future. And thanks for letting me be along. Everybody, will you please stand up and just give it up for this man?